Hello everyone, so I'm back at the Irving Park, and as you know, I'm just going to flip things over here and we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. So there's quite a bit of people, as you see. So probably I'll be putting the camera down quite a bit, so don't mind the editing. It's going to be required from all the people that are here in the cars. So let's get going. Oh, they closed the gate today. See, that gate usually is open. All right. Oh, look at this, how beautiful it is, summertime. Truly, truly is my favorite time of year. So, got something written down. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it now, and if I look at my notes and I see that there's something that I missed, I will add it. So, now what is the last time? The camera wasn't up enough. So, I'm going to try to keep the camera up so you don't see too much of the right in front of me and more straight ahead. So, yeah. So I've been talking a lot about how we are in difficult times, right? And how things are inverted, how we've become lost. And at the end, this is probably the easiest way to put it, is that we are traumatized. And with everything that we are doing with a traumatized perception of things, which is why things often get worse. So instead of improving a situation, if you are traumatized and unable to cope, then you make a decision in that state of mind. Well, you're not going to make some very good decisions. And the people that are running the show are among the most traumatized of all. The mess keeps on getting worse. So now, instead of going into this, talking simply about how messed up things are and how trauma really creates a big problem when it comes to us and how we do things, I'm just going to say that there is a way out. The way out is in. But see, the more that we will heal, the more that we will know what we should be doing, because again, we won't be acting from a state of consciousness that's traumatized. That trauma will have been healed, and therefore, instead of digging a bigger hole, we start climbing ourselves out of it. And us, how do we do this? How do we get this ball going as far as healing? Well, this is my opinion. We need to be connected to the now moment. The now moment. And we sometimes tap into this now moment in a moment of clarity where we know exactly what we need to do. That's when we are connected to the now moment. And when we are in this state of mind, we will not focus on the problem. And I don't know how many people here ride bikes that listen. You ride a bike, you have to look where you want to go. So if you get focused on a target that's undesirable, such as a ditch, and you keep on looking that direction, you're going to end up in a ditch. So we end up going where we're looking. So if you see a problem, then you will go into the problem if you see it, right? But if you're able to see things clearly, it's not really a problem, but a potential solution. So if we start focusing on the potential solution, we will head that direction. But the first and foremost thing here is that the catalyst is, if you want to put it that way, is the present moment, the being connected, the being that pure awareness that's able to see things clearly. And it's like most people call this third eye, right? But in reality, for me, it's just basically pure awareness that's not muddied. So instead of having a muddy lake of water, the stillness, the presence, the awareness has become quiet, and therefore it becomes clear. While if we are not clear, we won't be able to make a very sound decision, because we won't be seeing things as they are. But I guess for me, I said that presence was the first and foremost thing. But I guess in reality, what it actually is us being able to shut up, to become still, become quiet, to stop agitating the water so it becomes even more muddy. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And eventually it'll settle. You'll be able to see clearly. See, we're so always trying to control things. And if we perceive a problem, then we see it as us needing to take charge of this problem. While if you realize that you're not seeing things clearly when you see things as a problem. Alright, so if you hear people in the background, it's just people I just passed. So yeah, so if we're seeing things as a problem that needs to be solved, then we don't see things clearly. So we need to ground ourselves more, become more quiet, more in the present moment, so that the solution comes. And when you start seeing the solution, then you know you're seeing things clearly. So what I'm trying to say here is that the ego sees trouble. The ego sees problems. And soul or spirit or God or consciousness, awareness, and intelligence, love, all these things, they see solutions. So it's easy to tell where we're at, our consciousness that is, by being very honest with ourselves on if we are somebody that sees solutions or problems. I'm hoping you get what I'm trying to say here. I've always wanted to be someone that wouldn't complicate things so much when it comes to, explaining life or consciousness or spirituality, psychology, philosophy. A lot of people make it sound like it's all complicated and this is very difficult to understand, but see, it's not. It's not. So, so I think it's important to assess where we're at. Right? Let me adjust this for a second here. I'm just gonna tilt it a little bit. There. Okay. So that way, if we can be honest with ourselves, and we can see, do we create our problems, or are we basically the solution? See where the problem, where the solution, where the treasure chest, where the key to unlock the treasure chest, where all these things. And until that we start realizing that we are all these things, we will feel ourselves as separate. Maybe we will see ourselves as victims, just somebody that has been thrown into this world. Hopefully they'll be able to fend for themselves and somehow survive. When in fact, we decided to come here. We are the ones that have laid this whole story down for ourselves. And we have decided wholeheartedly to participate in this. So if that's the case, then we don't have anybody else to blame but ourselves. If we do feel like it'll help, maybe we can blame ourselves, right? And then fall back into this blame game, trying to find a scapegoat, be able to persecute this one responsible. See, like when it comes to this now moment, I've come out with my piece of paper here. I'm just gonna say what I have written down here. This now moment, it contains everything. It is here for everyone. So is it the same now moment as it was a few moments ago? Or is it a new now? So in one perception, it is a brand new now because things have changed. While in another perception, it is the same now moment. The ego our ego, will notice that things have changed from the previous moment. Just as the Buddha said about the river not being the same river that we step in. If we stepped in it twice, it's not the same river. But our soul or spirit will say that the essence of this now moment is the same. And that essence is often called consciousness or awareness, intelligence. Our soul will recognize that although the river is not the same, it is consciousness in action, unfolding. Everything is an expression of this consciousness or intelligence. Just as you are, you're an expression of this consciousness. And this consciousness is probably the thing that gives me the most hope in life. That this intelligence is capable of doing anything, and I wholeheartedly believe in this. And it can totally transform itself in a snap of a finger. Just as you are able to totally transform your life in a snap of a finger. Now, this brings me into the change that we want to see in the world. That if we are able to all connect with this inherent consciousness, intelligence within us, and if we can be that, then the outside world will have no other choice but to change. Because this outside world, or so-called outside world, there is no such thing as an outside world. It's all part of you. It's all an extension of you, by the way. But this life, this outside world that we call, it is a reflection of our internal state. So if we have what we're going through right now, and it's a disaster, well, your mind is probably a disaster. Your perception is probably a disaster. Your mindset is probably a disaster. While if we are seeing things as everything is unfolding as it should, then there is no disaster. It is all part of intelligence unfolding. And there is this thing about this intelligence, this consciousness, that it can make us believe in things that are quite amazing, such as that, you know, the world is going to end, or we're going to end. And the ego will latch on to something like that and say, oh my goodness, yes, my time is limited here on earth. Oh, and the anxiety behind that thought. And then if we can become still again, our soul will come in and say, don't need to worry. This is all going to continue on in another form. As intelligence is unfolding, consciousness is unfolding, well, you are part of that, and your unfoldment will continue. We'll learn, we'll grow. We'll be able to see more clearly. And then we can start making a little bit more sense in our life. Because if we're going to be stuck in the egotistical mind of problem, then this idea that you're going to no longer exists after this life becomes quite unsettling. But if we can become calm again, we will see that this is just an agitation of the muddied water. It doesn't see things clearly. So yeah, all our problems can end in one shift of perception. And all it takes is us to start shutting up. If we can just shut up and listen. There is so much intelligence in listening. It is probably the most underused sense that we have. See, if we perceive a problem and then we become still and we shut up and quiet and listen, and the solution becomes obvious. The same as me and my mysterious illness. For the first bit, I didn't have any idea what was going on, and I was trying to see what the hell was happening to me. And then when I started being more calm, because at first I was very anxious, I was very much in pain. My perception was not the same as what I would say it is right now. It was very muddied. I was seeing problems. But when I was able to get some moment of clarity, it all started putting the pieces together for the puzzle. And now I understand more. And because I understand more, I'm able to make better choices, such as no longer drinking out of aluminum cans, using magnesium, doing some Epsom salts, baths and foot baths, fasting. All of these things have helped me tremendously. So if you're somebody that's struggling right now when it comes to feeling down, it might be a good hint that you need to start listening to your body. This is what I did. So the first step is to become calm, to listen. But yeah, to become calm. So if we try to listen while we're in a state of agitation, we're not going to hear. So yeah, first step is becoming still, calm, at peace. And things start revealing itself as they are. All right, I'm just gonna pick up this tripod and keep on going for my walk. All right, let's keep on going. So, are you ready to heal? Are you ready to see clear? If so, nothing will stop you. That's another thing, that once you're ready to follow your dream, when you're ready to heal, you're finally ready to leave a toxic relationship, that you will make it happen. Because you are the creator of your own life. And if you say no more, it'll be no more. But you have to really want it. So the people that stay in toxic relationships, people that stay asleep, people that stay wounded, that's what they want to continue in a sense. I know that sounds cruel, but they're choosing this. They're stuck. And again, they're choosing to be stuck. This is the little bird. Same sound as what you just heard. It's right in that tree. Hello. So yeah, so if we're stuck, this is what we're choosing. Because we believe this is all there is. So if you are somebody that's angry, then you'll say, well, I have a right to be angry. Nobody's going to take that away from me. So they'll continue being angry. And if somebody is stuck in a victim mentality, they will keep on being in a victim mentality. What we need to do, if we're really sick and tired of being sick and tired, or being wounded, or being scared, being angry, being lost, once you're really, really done with it, you'll find your way out. Otherwise, if you're not really ready, you'll make all sorts of excuses, make half-hearted efforts, and then you'll say, well, I tried, but alas, there is no hope. What you're actually saying is that this is what you really want at the end, and you will continue to make it your reality. But that's okay, because your consciousness unfolding, and you will unfold in the way that you want, because at the end you are this consciousness, you are this intelligence, you are this divine spark, and you are your creator of your own reality. But we need to leave people to go about their own lives the way that they want. There's no way that us trying to beg, convince, plea, try to help them see the error of their ways. If somebody is not ready, they will not listen. And we need to leave these people alone and say, they'll find their way themselves. This is one of the spots I often go to. Yeah. When you're ready to heal, nothing will stop you. When you're ready to leave that toxic environment, nothing will stop you. When you're ready to awaken, nothing will stop you. And I think this is a good time to talk about this, where your will, what you truly want, what you deeply want, is what God wants, what the universe wants, what life wants, what consciousness wants, what the world needs, what you really, really deeply want. It is the same thing as God's desire. But we have to get very, very clear on what it is that we really want. So when I say that, what we really want, right? It's funny, have you ever thought of this? If I ask you, what do you want? Most of the time people will come up with some shallow or insignificant thing. They'll say, I want $1,000,000. But if we say to that same person, what do you really want? Well, then we get a different answer. So, why is one question not, in a sense, answered truthfully? And if we add really, then it is answered truthfully. Just a little something I noticed. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but it often happens that this is the case. So we have a shallow desire, in a sense, or what we really want. Never mind what we want. But if we say, what do you really want? And we're getting down to the nitty gritty for an extent. That's a way of seeing it, right? Once we say really, then it's something serious. It's not something goofy or insignificant. I think it's a good way of seeing things that don't matter, like a shallow answer of you wanting $1,000,000. Another way of seeing or explaining it is insignificant. It doesn't really mean anything, because after you get it, you will still be in a wanting mode. You will still want more. You want something else. But if your answer is that what you really want is to be happy, once that you're happy, you won't desire anything else. So you'll be happy. For me, what I want the most is to live a meaningful and fulfilling life, and to continue deepening my spiritual connection. Oh, nature. So, I think it would be a good thing to, if you're not really sure what you want, well, maybe we can start at this first step in this, to become quiet, to listen. But before we start listening, we need to become still, really quiet, so we don't have the waters muddied, and we're seeing things clearly. And once that we're quiet, then we see things clearly. Then we can start listening. Then we can see what's really happening. So this is last time I came here was yesterday, and I didn't record because of I forgot, it was too windy, and I forgot the windshield that I have, and when I tried to record, it wasn't, you could barely hear. But yesterday when I came, mosquitoes started attacking me here. Probably some people are like, oh my goodness, mosquitoes, I hate them. You don't understand how happy I was to see these mosquitoes, because since the beginning of, it's not really summer yet, but since the beginning of summer, I've been saying how there's no bugs, there's no bees, mosquitoes, flies, almost very, very few anyways. So I was happy to see But there were still some around here, even though they were going after me and biting me. And for people that don't know me, I usually, you could say that I despised mosquitoes. But I was happy there. Still some. So I guess you could say I have changed my perception on mosquitoes, which is a good thing, because hate is not a good vibration to begin for anything. All right, so yeah, I was talking about mosquitoes and I just got bit. So not complaining. There's one flying right in front of my face now. All right, so you guys know, for people that watch me, this is the end of the trail. These are beautiful. So many trees here that have flowers. I don't know if you were hearing pretty much at the beginning of the video, probably I'll say a minute in, maybe 2 minutes in, that there was a spot where you heard a lot of bees, and it was a tree. It was a big tree, and it's blooming now. And I'm sure every time I go there, I probably hear like 20 bees. Maybe a nest, I don't know. But anyways, there's quite a few. And then there was another same tree a little bit further up, and same thing, it's filled with bees, which is a good thing, as I said. So anyways, mosquitoes are attacking me. I'm gonna stop it here. I love you all. I wish you healing. I wish you peace. I wish you quiet. I wish you clear sight. I wish you to be able to listen and hear properly, so you can hear what your soul is telling you, so you can hear what God is telling you. So with that, I'm going to leave you, and until next time, bye.